Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Black Belt Beauty Radio. And happy fucking halfway through 2019, you guys. It is officially halfway through the year. It's insane, right? Just moving so fast. On a high note, I'm stoked that summer is officially on. I feel way more energized waking up to sunshine. I love it. The sun has been shy for the better part of June in LA, and now, it's coming out. Energizing the environment, certainly mine, and I feel really energized and inspired right now to get into this Solosode that I have ready to go for you. So, the last week I've been seeing, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well, this, the message of we're halfway through the year, and a lot of these messages, social media, emails, etc., are geared towards like this, where are you at with your goals, right? And some of it really does translate into this kind of alarmed tone, in my opinion. I kind of receive it that way. And, that can be very helpful for some people, like, hey, where are you at? Like, it's time to kick into high gear and get the shit going. But, that's not really what resonates with me. I do love check-ins, and I do appreciate this kind of halfway mark through the year and, checking in to see where everything is at. But my approach is a little different, and I'm really just feeling inspired to share my approach because perhaps it will resonate with some of you right now and be very supportive for you in your process, of checking in. And I think the thing for me is it's not just checking in, with your goals, right? For me, I'm more about checking in with self, with this internal environment that we are living, because this internal environment is ultimately going to affect everything outside of us, our performance, right? And our performance is going to affect our progress, our goals, our relationships, all of it, right? So rather than just looking at, what is my business doing? What is my money doing? Like all of that stuff, which is so relevant, I feel like it's very holistic, right? It's very kind of, it's like the root cause. Because if we're not looking inside first and we're looking out there, I just don't feel like, I think that for me, this is how I can continuously rise within self. And when I'm rising within self, I feel like my external, my life outside of me is also simultaneously rising. And this is my idea of living wealth, right? It's this interconnectivity business that is constantly in motion. So I have 5 questions that I'm going to share with you that are very, helpful to stay very self-connected, self-aware, focused, and ultimately just, in alignment, right? These questions are going to help to get rid of the unnecessary, strengthen the necessary, or add in the necessary, and ultimately keep you in a state of alignment. And that state is going to keep you progressively working towards your goals, to accomplish these goals, to actualize them. And hopefully, this is the case for me, but it also allows for this feeling of, to feel good in the process, right? You're still going to be challenged. There's going to be hard times. There's going to be some low vibrational days, but as a whole, you're not fucking struggling on, just to get something done and accomplish some kind of mission. So I really value these 5 questions, and I'm excited to share them right now. All right. So question number 1, where can you apply more confidence? Now, this can be in a few areas. It can be in one very focused area. That's up to you. It can be in your relationship. It could be in this, pursuit that you have in your business. It can be in yourself. It could be in all of it. But check in and really, obviously it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. You got to keep it so real, right? You got to be honest is what I'm trying to say with all these answers. Because if you're not, then there's no point in even doing this, right? So if you need to be more confident in yourself, well, imagine, what does that more confident self look like? How does he or she act, right? How does he or she function? If it's more confidence in your relationship, what does that relationship look like with more confidence, right? That could be a friendship. That could be your partner. That could be, one of your, business partners, something, any kind of partnership, any kind of relationship, right? If there is a relationship that you care about, that you are feeling insecure about, then where can you apply more confidence in that relationship? And then imagine what that looks like and what that feels like. I love journaling. I say that often because it really helps to get more detailed and more clarity. And then you have record, and you can always go back and take the stuff in, and you just know it more. And you can also learn your progress, right? So, if it's your business, do you have an idea? Are you developing something new and you feel insecure from time to time about it, or you're not sure if you're good enough for it? Well, what does applying more confidence to your business, to your idea, what does that look like? And what does that feel like? I love this question, man, because I'll tell you what, I am a very, very confident woman, but I can always find areas where I could apply more confidence. And when I discover these areas, you guys, I do exactly what I'm dishing out here. I literally use my imagination and I flip the switch on myself and I go, well, what would it feel like? What would it look like if you were pursuing this with more confidence? And I take that in and I spend time with that thought and really get into the details of it. And it works, man. It really helps for me to strengthen my confidence. So I really, everything that I'm sharing with you guys right now is all, it's tested already. It's tested and it's proven to be very effective in my life. And that's why I feel very confident to, and inspired really to want to share it with you right now. So question number 2, where can you apply more discipline? This is a really good one. I mean, listen, I love all of them. I feel like this is really a powerful one for a lot of people. So immediately the thought is like, could you go to bed earlier? Could you wake up earlier? Could you be more disciplined in your diet? Could you be more disciplined in studying? Could you be more disciplined in, your workouts, your training? I mean, there is always an area where we can, tighten things up and get hyper-focused, in areas where we need to be. And that will mean that we need to apply more discipline to get us there, right? I love this question for progress because listen, we need discipline in life to generate real progress, right? And if you don't apply discipline, if you don't have that skill set to know how and when to apply discipline, there's going to be less progress made. The bottom line, like if you look at the most successful people in business or in life, it's like there has been discipline that is constantly in motion in their life. And I really do value discipline in a way where I think it's very liberating because it gives us structure. It gives us structure so that, we're not all over the place and that things are getting done. And when things are getting done with effectiveness, with efficiency, because we are applying discipline to those things, it is very freeing in the mind, So I really think that this is a powerful question to constantly ask, but especially right now, halfway through the year, look at your life in all areas. Can you apply more discipline to your health, to your business pursuits? If you're in school, are you slacking in some areas and you can tighten it up with some more discipline? There's more, obviously it doesn't have to be just one area. There could be a few areas, but I really am inviting you to check in with this area, keep it real with yourself. And, when these areas come to you in your mind, as you go deep into this question, what are you going to do about it then? Like then comes okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to start applying more discipline in this specific area? So if it is with your diet, what are you going to do to apply more discipline, right? And it doesn't have to be some overwhelming thought or some, crazy, action, basically. It's just like, well, what's one thing that you can do to apply more discipline, right? There's a lot of ways to get deeper into this question, but I feel like I've planted the seed well enough for you right now to just check in and ask yourself, where can you apply more discipline? And know that wherever you're going to apply more discipline, if you really stick to it, you're going to make more progress. And progress is the goal. Okay, so question number 3, you guys. Where can you be less rigid? This is a fun question. Essentially, it's like, where can you fucking loosen the grip, And I want to give you a very real-time example. So the last couple of days, I've had to kind of chill out a little bit on training. My sinuses have been bothered. You might be hearing it right now. I'm all nasally and shit. And, it kind of made me more fatigued. And, my rest days in training at the most are like 2 days. Rarely are they back to back, but sometimes they are, because I do listen to my body. But it's never really over 2 days. But I've had to take like 4 days off. And, that's really hard for me because inside it's like, I'm so dialed, like I'm so used to, my body's used to working and I love it. I love the work, right? I want to go deadlift. I want to go train jujitsu. I want to run the beach. I want to do my yoga, do all this stuff, right? That I love doing. And I've had to chill the fuck out. And it's interesting because just this morning when I was journaling, I was kind of thinking about that, because yesterday I really wanted to get to the gym. Really, really wanted to get to the gym because it had already been, several days and I felt stretched over my, resting day period that I'm used to, that I'm comfortable with giving myself. And, but my body was still feeling fatigued straight up. So as much as I wanted to go, I was like, fuck man. Okay. I'm going to listen. I'm not going to push, it's not a healthy push. If I was to do it, it's a stupid push. So, and then I woke up this morning and I felt so much better. Like the fatigue is fucking gone, right? Still nasally, fatigue is gone. Anyways, I'm going to get to the point now. So I'm journaling this morning and I'm kind of, thinking about that concept of like, man, I really wanted to go yesterday, but I didn't. And I honored my body. I really did listen to her. And that felt really good. I mean, it feels extra good right now because now I feel ready to go. I'm fucking right after this podcast, I'm going to hit some weights, right? And I thought to myself, yesterday, the intensity that I felt of wanting to get into the gym was one part desire for sure, of like, I just love this shit. And then I felt like, in all honesty, it was also equal parts this kind of rigid thinking, right? This kind of system that I have built within myself of like, you got to get to the gym, you got to go. And it's like, why? Yes, I love having systems. I love having structure. I love being, constant and consistent. But with someone like myself who, this is a part of my life, right? Like, it's not like I'm just going to dip out and all of a sudden like training is like a part of my past life. Like, this is fucking who I am, right? So what's 4 days in the big picture, right? Back the fuck off. Don't grip so hard. Like, you don't need to be rigid. You want to be in a flow state. You want to be constantly in this state of alignment where you are tuned in and you are listening. And when I say listening, I mean first and foremost to self, right? I feel so, yeah, it was a really beautiful expression for me to record in my journal of like, in all realness of like, man, that's rigid thinking, because, I mean, I'm not lazy. I don't make excuses. It's none of that shit. So I never have to worry about that. And that's very liberating, that goes back to my discipline. But, the thing is that, in not gripping and in being very kind of aligned and open and listening and honoring my body and how it felt in this, moment yesterday, that's fucking where I want to be at all times. And that might mean that I'm stepping away from this kind of system that I have that is so, even a beautiful system, something that I love that really helps me to, be the woman that I am and perform the way that I am. But you don't ever want to get stuck in fucking patterns. Now, this is very Bruce Lee talk right here. And this is why when he speaks to this stuff, I have chills right now because it resonates with me. It's like, man, even if the system is something that is awesome, right? Everything is constantly changing and evolving day to day in our life, even from like a physiological, biological perspective, right? Hormones, all of that stuff. You don't want to be so stiff, so rigid, so structured that you can't hear this stuff as it's evolving and changing and in a, different state. You want to be harmonized and operating from a state of oneness. Okay, look, I fucking want to be. This is how I can continuously not only feel progression within myself, but I can witness it, how it's affecting my external environment, my life, my business, my relationships. But it's also keeping me very deeply rooted in self-aware and self-connected. And that is a fucking superpower in my opinion. If you don't got that shit dialed, it doesn't matter what you're doing outside because you can make a lot of gains outside. But if you are not rooted in self, if you are not deeply connected to self, it's going to show up at some point in life. And most likely it probably won't feel that good, right? We need this constant, beautiful, harmonized self-connection business going on within us. And that is going to allow for not just more progression in life, but, a progression that is going to feel really good from the internal and the external. That right there to me, you guys, is a win-win. It's success on top of success. So before I move on to number 4, I'm going to invite you to check in and ask yourself, where can you be less rigid? Which means that you are also going to be more surrendered and you are going to be more open to, whatever the situation is and allow yourself to really feel and then navigate from that point. Okay. So number 4, where can you apply more creativity? Oh, okay. So listen, again, applied to all areas of life and you don't have to pick one. Can you be more creative in your home environment? Can you, buy a new plant, change something up, get rid of things and create a new elevated sense of energy in your home from this kind of new creative, angle? Can you be more creative in your love life? Go on some more spontaneous dates or things of that nature? Can you be more creative in your business? Thinking outside the box. Can you be more creative in your workouts and your training? Switch things up. See what that's going to do to your body. Can you be more creative in your diet? There are so many ways to constantly apply more creativity. And I'll tell you what, that exercise right there, when you have to use your imagination to discover ways to be more creative, that is such a healthy way to be using your brain and applying yourself in life. Not only is it going to feel good, when you're actually applying these, new ways from a creative perspective, but it literally is employing your brain in a way that is going to keep you very healthy in the mind, your brain very healthy. It's going to keep the essence of youth, right? I really believe this. I think a lot of times this, idea, this feeling of aging is because there is just less creativity happening in this person's life who's feeling so old. It's like, fuck that, man. We are only limited by our imagination. And when we ask ourselves, when we check in where can we be more creative? I mean, not only is the act such a elevating action, but then, what you're able to produce from it is going to elevate you in your life in these areas. So where can you be more creative right now in your life? Think about it, write it down. So I really love this idea of asking questions, checking in, going there in my mindset, imagining it all, taking in the details, allowing me to kind of viscerally almost feel it, right? And that really is supported by writing it down, because then I can get deeper into the details too. Or meditation, this all works, right? I love doing both. And then what happens, you guys, is that you're literally conjuring up this kind of feeling of inspiration towards all this, these new ideas and this new way of looking at it. And then comes action. But the thing is that you are acting from a state of inspiration, inspired action. I want to be operating my actions from this state in as much as my life as I can, because when you're inspired, there's focus, there's clarity, and it feels fucking good. You're not just going through the motions of something. There's an actual energy that is moving you towards these things. And that's really helpful when you got to do hard shit too, right? So drop in, ask yourself this question: where can you be more creative? Write it down. And after that, when you've got that energy moving through you, act, take action, apply it. Okay. Question number 5, final question. In what way can you offer yourself more love? Big one. In what way can you offer yourself more love? Listen, you are in you until you are done. Straight up. And I really feel like a lot of people overlook that, like don't really understand that the relationship that you are in with yourself is the fucking most important relationship that you will ever have in your life. I mean, listen, the more that you love yourself, the more that you are supportive to yourself. The more that you are supportive to yourself, the more you can get through hard shit. The more that you can get through hard shit, the more that you can accomplish great things in life, because a lot of great things accomplished means that you've, had to go through a lot of challenge to be able to do it. And so this relationship, this ability to love yourself, in a very profound, consistent way is such an important tool. It's such an important action. It is such an important way to be living your life. And there are so many ways, there are infinite ways that we can be loving ourselves more and more and more. I love myself tremendously. And you know what? I'm constantly finding more ways that I can love myself, right? Whether it's something that, whether I can be looking up something on myself differently or something within myself differently, whether it's applying some new kind of action or ritual, there are always new ways to be loving yourself. And again, I kind of want to slash the love with support. So it's like love and supporting yourself. And, again, pulling it right back to the beginning of this episode, we're here talking about being halfway through the year. And, this idea of checking in with yourself really for this idea of what progress have you made and how much more progress can you make in the year? Fuck you guys. If you're not doing this shit with a sense of self-love and support, what is it really all worth anyways? Really think about that. I don't care if you're crushing it in your, business, in your, fitness gains, or if you're so popular and you've got all this fucking, Instagram you're following. If you don't love yourself, man, it's I'm bored of that thought. It's just not interesting to me. If you're doing this shit and you're in this constant state of, the development further and further of self-love, applying more love to self, applying more support to self, you're a bad motherfucker. Straight up. And I don't even need to be the one to tell you that, because for those of you who are doing this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You feel it, right? So much of why I'm able to live a very kind of high performing life, right? And demand great things of myself and, kind of chase this constant bait of excellence and reach for very big things in my life and have discipline and structure to, have this kind of lifestyle that I have, it all comes back to how much love I hold for myself and how much that love is allowing me by way of support to pursue all of this day by day by day. But if I didn't have this, there's no fucking way that I could be doing any of this on this level. No way. So much passion comes out of me when I speak to this because it really is a superpower to be able to truly love yourself and support yourself. And it's not like you've reached this, like it's constantly evolving, right? You want to constantly be checking in, just like this question, and asking yourself, like, where can you love yourself more? Because even as myself, as someone who, I have a deep love, deep connection, deep support system going on within me at all times, I can always find ways to apply more, acts of love to myself. And I love when I discover those ways because I want to be constantly be in support of myself and by way of love, right? Because I know that the stronger this all gets within me, the more that I'm going to be able to create everything that I envision for my life from not just a state of like, I'm hitting my goals and I'm making it all happen, but I'm going to feel myself going through the motions of progressing to this all with joy, with connection, with love, with empathy, with all of it, right? And I want to feel it all. This is what feeling alive feels to me, right? Means to me, feels to me. So in what way can you offer yourself more love? And that is what I got for you in this Solosode at this halfway mark of 2019. And I hope, I trust, I believe that even if it just hit one of you listening, that this will really offer support to your process and, help you to make internal progress and external progress. And I can tell you right now that on this channel, of Black Belt Beauty, everything that I put out will always touch on both those environments. It's never going to just be about the external. I can't. Everything that I do is very holistic and everything is interconnected. So I'm paying attention to both environments at all times, and I want them dancing in harmony. But I firmly believe that the external is deeply influenced first and foremost by the internal. So that's almost going to take priority, right? And that's why these questions just felt like the perfect offering to share with you right now at this halfway mark of the year in support of you, really generating more progress from a very healthy, holistic approach and, progress that is going to keep you elevated from the internal and the external. So you guys, I'm always psyched, stoked, excited, and grateful to take in your feedback. So definitely share it with me if you got it. Hit me up on Instagram, Roxy Look and or Black Belt Beauty. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, I'm just sending you lots of love, lots of high fives, and lots of you fucking got this. Let's do this 2019. And I'm always looking forward to being right back here with you on the next one. Lots of love, you guys.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, you guys. If you loved it, please share it on your social. Throw it up on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm at Black Belt Beauty. I am also at Roxy Look, RoxyLook. I love connecting with you guys. This is a conversation that I want to just continue growing with you guys. So if you feel inspired, to hit me up, do so in that space. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by rating it and reviewing it via iTunes. It's such supportive help, you guys. It really helps the visibility of this podcast. So I appreciate and thank you in advance for doing that. And last but not least, if you are interested in starting your own podcast, or perhaps you already have one and you need help with, editing your audio and the production of it, I cannot recommend my producers enough. Resonate Recordings, you guys, they are the bomb. I rely on them. They are an absolute supportive tool to me and my podcast. So check them out and let them know that Black Belt Beauty sent you. And on that note, you guys, I'm signing off with all my love and always looking forward to catching you on the next.